What's going on, everyone? We are here live here on OT Radio Show, and man, oh man, we got a great show for y'all today. Today, y'all, we got NFL mom Latanya Clement is joining us here today. Educator, motivated speaker, sport advisor, and not only is she that, she's a business owner, entrepreneur. So we got her here, and we're going to talk about raising student athletes, raising professional athletes. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about the keys to success of raising an athlete. So right now, y'all put your hands together. She's here, straight from North Philly, straight from Logan Val, right here, Miss Clement. How you
Hi,
feeling today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Good,
Well, well,
good.
look, first, thank you for joining us here in the show. We definitely appreciate you joining us. Taking your time out to talk to us a little bit. You
Of
know, so
course,
yeah, yeah.
of
So,
course.
so let's dive into it. So let's
Okay,
find out
okay.
who is Latanya Clement. Tell us a
Who's
little
the
bit
sign?
about you. Mm.
Okay. Well, first, let me acknowledge. I want to say thank you for having me, but also let's acknowledge, not forget, it is 9/11. Let's not forget and give RIP to Frankie Beverly. Also, let's not forget the gentleman that played on Claudine as well. So I like to give, RIPs to them. And
Mm-hmm.
also, it's a good day as well because it was my mom and dad um, wedding anniversary. So I got a lot going on today to be thankful for and giving RIPs to. So I want to acknowledge that first off and 9/11 as well. Latanya Clement, Latanya Dunaway Clement, let me just clarify that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised in Logan. Little girl born and raised in Logan, two-parent household, brothers and sisters, the whole 9 yards. Went to Catholic school, went to college after I got married. Um, got married, had two sons, Stephen and Corey. Raised them. We raised them to the best of our abilities, being parents, because being a parent does not come with a handbook. And we kept them very busy. I am an entrepreneur. I have Clement Enterprises LLC. I deal with individuals that are seniors in high school, that are student athletes. Even if you're not a student athlete, I still speak with you in regards to your career pathway and which career you may or may not be suitable for. I also speak about separation anxiety because my son and myself had experienced that while he went away to school. I noticed a change. He noticed a change, and we came to agreement that that's what it was, separation anxiety. And parents don't understand the severity of that when your child goes away anywhere on this earth. You're going to have that separation anxiety. Those that say, no, I don't, that's not true. You do have a little bit of it. You may not express it. Um, just a young woman just making it, making a difference in people's lives and giving knowledge where I can drop a few nuggets here and there because I do run a business
Mm-hmm.
and letting people know it's not all about the glitz and the glam. There's things that go on behind the scenes that parents do not understand about when you raising your sons and your daughters and they get into the professional world because you see all that glitters is not gold. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
express that very seriously. It's not all gold. There's a lot that goes on behind the scene that you have to deal with when it comes to your child and their mental health and if they survive the college life because my son almost did not survive the college first semester of life. He kept that from us, but we just checked in on him. But when you go away to school, you try to be big man, big girl on campus, but it's a lot to deal with when you're away from your parents because we are a close knit family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just a girl that grew up, in the neighborhood of Logan. I still claim Logan as my neighborhood, the hood or whatever.
Right.
Um, we had a unity there. We had a community that watched out for each other. I was raised in the era where, from a two-parent household where everybody looked out for everybody's kids. My mom and dad didn't take any mess. They didn't play with us. Education was the key to success. It still is the key to success. I'm in course now as we speak. I got one
Mm-hmm.
more course to take, then I'll be completed with that. But I'm expanding my knowledge. I'm always expanding and trying to enlighten and educate individuals that have that son and or daughter that is going off to school and let them know, what it really is. So I do go out and do speaking engagements. And I do have my own business, the whole 9 yards. So I'm just getting that off the ground and coming out here, just sharing what I know.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You talk
Hmm.
about uh separating anxiety. right? When
Mm-hmm.
your kid go off to school, can you give
Mm-hmm.
us uh, a little details, or can you give us an example of your experience when it came down to that?
Oh, absolutely. Um, I was told leaving my son, both my sons were away to school. Um, Corey went the farthest. Stephen was in Delaware, but leaving your child in an unknown familiar place is very it's scary, but you have to clip the wings at some point. So I'm going to say this: when I got on that plane to come back home, I never cried so hard in my entire life. I cried like somebody had died. And the man got on and he said, let me guess, you dropped someone off at college. I said, how did you know? He said, because I live here and I see this all the time. So when I got off, at the time my husband's that came and picked me up, um, what made me smile was I said, hey, I had a dog. Her name was Mercedes. And I was like
Mm-hmm.
happy to see her. So when I got home, um, I couldn't call up to his room because he wasn't there. I couldn't just go up and say, hey, what you doing? This, that, and the other. So when I got home, I started cooking. So I got home. I said, okay. He hadn't called and text me back yet. I'm like waiting for him to do that. And he did. And I said, okay, what are you doing? So my oldest Stephen came in the kitchen and he said, Mom, he got a job to do. He got something to do. And you're gonna have to let go a little bit. And I said, okay, I'm still crying. I think I was making spaghetti. I was crying. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, this is crazy. So a week went by and I gave him his space. And I said, I just had to give him his space. I made myself busy and whatnot. I would go by his room and I'm like, okay, I can't call him because he's not here. And I want to be bugging him. So he called me like a week and a half later. He said, Mom, I haven't heard from you. He said, everything okay? I said, yeah, everything is fine. I was giving you your space for you to get, adapted to your surroundings and whatnot. Um, it was times where you go in the room and you look around and you want to feel their presence, that they're there, but they're okay, but you're not sure if they're okay because they're not in eyesight for you to see. So I had to deal with learning to let him be a young man and knowing that, leaving it up to God, that he's going to be okay. But it's a hard thing to do when you're close with your kids. You're very close, and any mother or father know when you're close and you're trying to still hold on, you got to let go just a little bit. And I noticed, um, as I let go, he started, being involved with school and the whole 9 yards. And then when he did an interview, he said the interviewer said, how was your first semester? He said, well, I almost didn't make it. He said, because I had separation anxiety. And I'm like, that's what I experienced. Like, what are you talking about? He said, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm real close with my mom and my dad, but, of course, with my mom. He said, because I just couldn't call downstairs and, um, Mom, I just couldn't. I didn't want her to feel like, oh my God, I want to bring my baby home. So when he said that, it hit home for me because I'm like, I'm having these anxiety thing, like, okay, I hope he's okay. I hope he's at camp. He's so far away. Is he getting along? Is he getting lost? Or his first time he's ever been this far away from me for so long. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to deal with it myself, and I read up on it. And it's normal to go through these emotions. And after the first 4 months, from I think September to December, um, I got through it, and by the
Mm-hmm.
time January came around, it got better. As time went on, it got better. But the
Okay.
first, I'll tell a parent, the first, if they're going away, you're going to have those moments. And that's when your community and your loved ones come close to you because they know, like, wow, y'all really close and y'all together every day or whatever. Now they're so far away. Now you got to deal with them being away. It's like, oh my God, he's away. Then my other one was away. It was like, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
But I had to deal with it. We got over the first hump of the first semester. After that, it got better as time went on. So I speak to parents about, listen, it's okay to cry. It's okay to sit in your car and be upset or wondering what they're doing, making sure that they're okay. It's okay if you're not feeling yourself, you're out of sorts, because guess what? They are too. And when we went to go visit him, his face lit up like,
Mm-hmm.
phew, like we were there in September and we was like, okay, we went to go see him. His face, he said, Mom, I missed you. I said, I missed you too. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, me and his dad went there to go see him. Was the first time he made his first collegiate touchdown when we was there.
Mm-hmm.
So when he did that, I was like, okay, you doing okay then. And after we left, I said, he's all right. He's okay. But I still had those little moments. Even now,
I was
I
about to
will
ask you
say,
that.
even now, he's in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I still, I Of course, I miss my children. Of course, I need like I'll have to go when he comes, or if I go out there, I need to see him. I need to feel him. I need to touch him. I need to smell him, and
Mm-hmm.
hug him. And that's just a parent, period, a loved one, period. Um, Make sure he's okay. I just need that mommy feeling, and then it's okay. I'm like, okay. I can go another 3 months, and I can FaceTime you. Is FaceTime is okay, but skin to skin and hugging and kissing him is so much better, so much better. And when he leaves, I get sad. I'm like, I miss you already. He said, I know, I miss you too, mom. It's just, I'm sappy. I'm sappy from time to time. I'll be like hardcore, but no, I'm not. I'm sappy. And I'm like, and I'm texting him, I miss you already. He said, I'm home. I'm like, I miss you. He said, I miss you too. And I said, okay. And I said, well, okay, that's just life. It's like,
Now, how do you like with your experience?
mm-hmm.
How do you help navigate with families that's going through those things? What are some things that you do tell them and things that they can prepare and do for?
Well, if you are a first time parent, like you have, if you have never, I always reach out to the parents that probably have never attended college away from home.
Mm-hmm.
This is their first child that's going
Mm-hmm.
away. Um, be prepared for the roller coaster ride which you're about to go on. And it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the emotional roller coaster ride. All that glitters is not gold. Okay. What you may think happen may not happen, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. Be prepared for the unknown. There are questions that parents, because I was a recruiter for many years as well,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't know to ask, and I will inform them when we have these consultations on what to ask. Like when I went on tours with, at the time, my husband and I went on tours. I was a recruiter, and it was like, oh, uh-oh, she know her stuff. So I would ask questions they didn't expect me to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would come in there, they were like, "Oh, I was not fascinated by whatever field we was on and the lights. I wasn't fascinated by it because I already knew what it was about because it's a
Mm-hmm.
selling point. It's a
Mm-hmm.
selling point, and everyone has a quota to meet. And
Right.
there's certain kids they're looking to get and not get. Just because your son or daughter got where they're at doesn't mean they're going to get on that field.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to make it known that if I turn my child over to you, I expect them to do X, Y, and Z. And that
Right.
was an agreement, a contract, and it happened. It happened. It was like, well, how you know all this and this, that, and the other? I said, well, I've been doing this for so many years. I know what to say. I know
Mm-hmm.
what questions to ask. I know how to interview very well. I know how to interview somebody else very well. So with that being said, it was like they was like kind of like, oh wow, she know her stuff. Absolutely, absolutely. So when they have a consultant with a one-on-one with me, I tell them and guide them in a way that they not in a way in an unfamiliar territory that they don't know what they're getting into. Like someone may make you a great offer. Okay, does that mean that your child may play? They may not play until third or fourth year of college. You don't know that. You have
Mm-hmm.
there's things that you need to ask, and this is a question that you need to ask them
Mm-hmm.
while they're daunting on your son or daughter. Make sure that your son or daughter are going to get the same thing in return because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Like
Mm-hmm.
we was not going to send, we weren't going to send my son somewhere knowing that he wasn't going to get any playing time. That wasn't
Mm-hmm.
happening. Like if there is no red shirting, it's things like that that we get in conversation about. Like well, if I turn my son over to you, it's going to be, we had one coach come out, and when he went to his school, they flew out in a private jet to come see at my home. They came to my
Mm-hmm.
home, and we sat and we had a square up. Like, and my husband at the time was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Uh-huh.
It was a good old boy. Here we go because she know
Right.
her stuff.
Right.
So as we got into it, they sat in my living room, and I said, "You see that young man sit between the both of you?" It was the head coach and the coach. I said, "That's our pride and joy." So these are the questions I need to ask you. And the coach looked at me like, oh, wow. So I had
Mm-hmm.
a laundry list of questions, checked off,
Mm-hmm.
checked off, checked off. And I asked him, what makes you different from the rest of them?
Mm-hmm.
And we checked off, checked off. And he said some things that were key points that I was looking for him to say. And he did.
Mm-hmm.
He said what I was looking for. I was like, okay. And we made sure that he was going to get, when he got there, that he was going to get his playing time and all that. That
Mm-hmm.
did happen
Mm-hmm.
because my son was playing. Both of my kids were playing at a very young age. I think Corey's about 5 or 6 when he be playing. So Corey been playing 20 years already before he got to the league. So he's been playing
Uh-huh.
ball a long time. So this is nothing new to us. So I know the
Mm-hmm.
questions to ask to the next level going into college. And a lot of parents don't know these questions to ask. They get really excited because their son or daughter got 2 or 3 scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
That's all good. But out
Mm-hmm.
of those 2 or 3 or 10 or 12, you only could go on 5 visits.
Mm-hmm.
I set the stage for you. I paint the picture for you. So when you go in there, you're not blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
So these are
Well, give us
conversations
an
that I have.
example. Give us an example of at least one or two questions that you can give us for the listeners that's
For the
listening or
listeners,
watching.
ask if your son or daughter will get playing time.
Okay.
How will their study time be incorporated into study time? What would the schedule look like?
Mm-hmm.
What would their day look like? The day in the life look like?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what scores? How do you grade? Things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. What do they need to stay on track to make sure that they main, especially if they got a full ride, what they
Uh-huh.
need to do to stay on track to keep that 4.0 or that grade to a certain level, because being a student athlete or being a student, whatever you're doing, +1 is very, very difficult to do. It's not easy for a young man or young woman to come out of a high school going into a big college and think they can juggle it all, because you're going to need some advising from somebody to handle that schedule when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you don't go to bed till 9 or 10 o'clock at night because you got schoolwork, you got practice, you got schoolwork, you got to go back to practice, and you got to do things. You got to read your playbook, and then you got to do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it work. So
Right.
these tidbits that I had, explained to them, like, it's not easy, and it's not just mom and dad. It's a family. Like, I had a
Right.
community behind me. I had a family behind me. So that's how I got through what I got through, or we got through because of my family network and my friends, my close knit friends. We were able to get through help each other out. And I found my niche by, being in education for 25 years next year. I think I know a little something about what I'm talking about.
Right. Right. I feel you.
I think I'm pretty cool at what I do. Being in sales and then being a recruiter, director, and all that good stuff, and have my own business, I can tell you a little bit about a little couple of things there that make it make sense. Oh, I can make it make sense.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, you're making sense. You're making a
I
whole lot of sense right now.
thank you.
Oh, so can you tell our listeners and people that are watching
Hmm.
the importance, especially when you're raising an athlete, the importance to maintain their grades and their academics?
Oh my God, that's a fabulous question. It is so important to do it while you're in the 11th and 12th grade. Not saying 9th and 10th don't count, because it do.
Mm-hmm.
11th grade sets you up. Your meat and potato is in your junior year. You want to
Okay.
set yourself up, because 12th grade should be gravy. Get your hardcore work in 11th grade. Not saying 9th and 10th is not important. 11th grade, you want to make sure you got your scores up, ACTs, ASATs, things of that nature, SATs up to up the par,
Mm-hmm.
because recruiters start looking at you, and you can't get your letters to after your junior year has been completed. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my sons, both my sons, when they finished junior year, they came out with a box full of recruiting letters from
Mm-hmm.
different colleges at that
Mm-hmm.
time. We want you, we want you, we want you. And it was like, wow, like, okay. And I was expressed to my students that I teach now, because I'm an educator. Listen, this is not a game. You got a real live mom here. That's an NFL mom.
Mm-hmm.
Not I'm a Philly girl who raised an NFL player who got a ring,
Talk about
about
it.
to go, about to be in Hall of Fame. Both of my sons about to be in Hall of Famers. Okay, my son was on the side of the bus. My son was on the L train. My son's picture was everywhere. So he didn't get there just by looking cute. He got there by studying, working hard, and putting everything in place. And you gotta. He ate football. He slept football. He walked and talked football. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was instilled in them to make sure that your grades up the par, because you're not gonna get accepted. And I said this to them when they were young. I said, "What are y'all gonna do something?" And they said, looked at me like, "What is she talking about?" I
Uh-huh.
said, "Somebody in this household gonna be doing something. Y'all gonna be doing something." And they would start laughing. I said, "I got a 50-50 chance here. Somebody gonna be doing something." So
Uh-huh.
guess what? They're both doing something. I got one that's an artist, and I got one that's an NFL player. So
Mm,
they're both doing something. So we done something right because we had mom and dad, and we had the community behind us. So it wasn't just mom and dad. When you have a community behind you
mm-hmm,
that's working with you, that is family oriented, we're pushing each other's kids. Like I couldn't pick up my kids all the time. Their dad couldn't be there all the time to pick them up from school. I had a community, I had coaches picking up my kids from high school and to go to the practice and the games and stuff. It was a village, and it takes a
mm-hmm.
village. Takes a village. So I would tell anyone, listen, while we're in school and I not going for my kids hard in school, like, oh, Miss Clement, you are so yeah, I'm a lot. I'm a lot.
Right.
I'm a lot. I am.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? I'm a good lot because I'm the real source here.
Right.
There is no other NFL mom here teaching you this.
Mm.
I'm her from Philly. I'm
Super
her.
Bowl. Super Bowl,
Super
mom.
Bowl J. I put some respect. I said put some respect on the
Respect
name.
on that. Put some
Yeah,
respect on that. Super Bowl. Put some
yeah,
respect on
Super.
it.
Yeah, mom with the ring. Okay, from Philly. So what more can you say when you got the whole enchilada right there in your face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
ask, "Oh my God, my son is surprised last year came to the school. He's like, that was your son." I said, "Yeah." "Oh, you a Super Bowl mom?" "Absolutely,
Talk it.
absolutely." But
Talk it.
the child has to want it more than you do. I
Mm.
repeat, the child has to want it more than you do. My son wanted it more than me. So that made a difference. He told me at an early age that what he was going to do, he manifested. He said who he wanted to play for. He said he would have a ring before he was 30.
Mm.
All these things that he said and manifest came to pass. So manifestation is real.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real. So I instill this in my kids. Like, this real. He walked the walk and talked the talk. If you put up a YouTube video from high school, you're gonna find him on there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in education, and it's not a joke. These kids might think, oh no, it's getting harder and harder out here. It's getting harder. You have to take your grades seriously. And I'm very passionate about my student. They be like, oh, you going? Yes, I do, because guess what? In about 3 years or 2 years from now, you're gonna see me, and they have. Hey, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Clement, I said, what you doing with yourself? Oh, I got this. I'm in this. I'm about to graduate. I said, good for you. I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to say if I touch one child's life, I made a difference.
Yes, you do. Yes,
I
it is.
made a
All it take
difference.
is one. All it take is
One,
one.
one.
So, how do you help like student athletes develop like a champion attitude? Because you coming from a champion and being that Super Bowl mom, how do you help students get that champion attitude? What are certain
Uh,
things that you do?
Manifest, inspiration, motivation, persistence, consistency, all that.
Mm,
If anyone follows me on social media, I'm very inspirational. If anyone hear my name on the radio every Sunday, I get shout outs every Sunday for being
mm-hmm,
very positive, being motivational, inspirational, because you have to pour into your kids,
mm-hmm,
not just at home, but at school too. I'm very passionate about education. I'm very passionate about my kids, and I call them my kids. I said, because once you cross that threshold, you mine.
mm-hmm.
And it's my responsibility to get you the education that you need. It's my responsibility to make sure you walk out this room knowing that you know something. You left out of
Oh,
my classroom with something, because I teach college and career readiness. I'm
mm-hmm.
preparing you at this age for the real world, because it's going to eat you alive.
Yeah,
Like, I'm giving you real stuff. I'm not giving you textbook stuff. I'm giving you experience from a real person that has a son that's in the NFL, and it's a lot that go on behind the scenes that you don't know about.
yeah,
Your thing
yeah,
was, you see the front, the glitz and the glamour. Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. What goes on behind the scene is totally different, because that coach may be getting in their tail. You don't know what kind of day they're having.
right.
You don't know what happened the week before practice, the day before practice,
Mm-hmm,
if they're going to get on the field, if they
mm-hmm,
do or do not. It's mental. It's very mental. So you have to have a strong mind. You have to make sure God is in your life at all times,
mm,
every day, all day. I pray all day, every day. When I wake up, before my feet hit the floor, thank you, God, for me. Let me see another day and bless my family, my kids,
that's right.
and
That's
everyone
right.
that I love that's in my life. Because I manifest that. That's what happens. When you give
Mm-hmm.
out good energy, it comes back.
That's
It comes
true.
back 10 times
That's true.
fold. 10
Yeah.
times fold. I mean,
Yeah.
I had somebody pay for some groceries, I think the other day, and I went back and forgot something, came back, the lady was like, the man was like, oh, it's already paid for. I said, what? He said, it's
Mm.
paid for. I said, what you mean it's paid for? He said, oh, the gentleman, I didn't even see the man. I saw the man in the car, but I didn't pay him no mind. The man
Uh-huh.
came in, must have paid for my stuff, and I was giving, let's say it's already paid for. I said, well, who paid for it? He said, the man came in and left. I said, okay. I said, thank you, God. I didn't expect it, but thank you.
Right. Right.
Thank you, God. Yeah, and I put on Facebook, whoever paid for my stuff, I just want to say thank you. There are still good people out here. There's still good men out
Yeah.
here in the world that
Yeah.
do things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm all about positivity. I'm all about, and it's true to core, and people don't believe this. How you treat people is how you're going to get treated, and how the world's going to treat you, and what you get in return, and
That's
what
a
you
fact.
earn. You have to give God the glory first. You have to treat people like they're human being. You cannot be selfish with your blessings. You
Yep.
cannot be selfish with your blessings. You have to be a loving, giving person in order to get to the next level, or you won't get to the next level. God, if you are not doing what you're supposed to do, believe me, you're not going to get to the next level if you do not acknowledge him first. And I
Yep.
believe in that wholeheartedly. I manifest every day. I've got a
Mm-hmm.
book that I do every day. And I encourage people to do that. Write down your goals and see what they come. I done wrote down so many things that I came to the past. And I was like, whoa, this actually works.
It
If you want
does.
something that bad, write it down. Look,
It
I got a
does.
vision board in my bedroom. I'm a grown woman. I got a vision board. And I think everybody said, I look at my vision board and I'm like, okay, we're gonna conquer that. We're gonna conquer that. We're gonna do this. Because there's always and when you are blessed to see another day, that's another opportunity for you to do something that you didn't do the day before.
That's true. That's true.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Now, how important is mental health when it comes down to student athletes?
Ooh, very important. Even as adults, very important because you're in a time in your life when you have to study. You're in a time in your life where you have to study a playbook or whatever. You might be on a music scholarship. You might be a drum major. Whatever you are in a scholarship on, you have to study your regular studies for whatever you plan on being, and also what you plan on doing professionally as far as sports or drum major, whatever that may be. You have to decompress sometime and step back a minute, take a breather, because I do as an adult. Take a
Mm-hmm.
breather, focus, decompress for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and then re up again. Give your brain a break. Like step away. Like for instance, both my sons do different things,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't always. I'm not that parent say, "Oh, let's talk about football, this and together, or let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about who you open for, this and any of this." No, I am always mom. I'm not a fan. I'm your biggest supporter. I'm not a fan. I'm the mom and say, can you do me a favor, go in and take that trash out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm not starstruck because who he is. Yes, I gave birth to him, both of them. That's one that yeah, uh-huh, mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm not a fan. I'm not your number one fan. I'm your mother. I'm your mom.
Mm.
I'm mom. I'm not a fan. Never have been a fan. Always a mom. And I had to correct people. Oh, you was his biggest fan. No, 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 no. I'm his mom. And they know that. I'm mom first before I'm big supporter. That's how I look at it. You have to remember where you are and what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing at all
Now, I'm
times.
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that brings me to my next question. What
Mm-hmm.
advice would you have for parents who may be struggling to understand their role, in supporting their child in their
Uh,
athletic career? Like,
I have seen some stuff. Um,
it
whew,
looking like you're about to go through a little mental health right there. It look like you're about to go to a mental right there. Just talking
no,
about
but
it.
I'm just going to say, listen, that son or daughter might be the first person in the family to make it that far
Mm-hmm.
to that position of their life or their career after college or during college. We have to learn as parents to not overdo it because sometimes parents live their dreams through their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you have to learn not to act like you don't have any home training when you go out. I'm sorry. you have to learn to be your own individual self outside of your son and daughter. Yes, I was happy to post my sons when they open up for this person and when they play for that person, and I was excited. Yes, that's wonderful. Then I fall back. I'm like, okay, enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I say that's his profession, that's his job, because that is his profession, because he's in front of the camera. Would you still have that same energy if he was behind the scene as a doctor or lawyer? Would you be doing the same thing you're doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Would you still be acting like you have lost your mind? Like, oh, my baby, no, you have to learn to let them be in their lane and get to know themselves as a professional at that point, because when they sign that contract, they're a professional now. This is their job. Like I tell them in a minute, that's his job. And it's stressful. It's
Mm-hmm.
stressful because I'm not a coach. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
player. I'm not getting hit on Sundays and Mondays. He
Mm-hmm.
is. Only
Mm-hmm.
thing I could be there for him is to encourage him. I send my son a prayer every day. Every time he plays, I send him a prayer. And I root for him. And then when we get off the phone, good game, whatever, and we going about. So hey, so what you eat for dinner? This and the other. You
Mm-hmm.
have to let them live in the light. It's I know you. I know they're excited. We all get excited. Trust me. We share
Mm-hmm.
amongst our friends and stuff. It's wonderful. But at times we can go overboard where you could be embarrassing your child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to fall back a little bit. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right then. But I'm so excited. But okay. All right. We're so
Right.
excited for you, but you just got to contain. And I understand the parents that probably this is their first, you know, John, he's the first in the family to go to college. And this, I get it. I got it. I
Right.
understand. Try to contain it inside the four walls of your house. Um, we are no different. You get recognized. People are like, oh, I think I know you. Well, you may, I don't know. I never say anything. Oh, you so humble. Yeah, well, because I'm I did my job. He's doing his.
Right.
I'm humble because I'm doing a purpose. I'm here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're so humble. Nobody would know unless I say something. Oh, I didn't know that's just us. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Miss Clint. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I keep it going. So anyway, girl, blah, 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 blah. They were like, oh damn,
Right.
because I had to get out of the mindset like that's my son and he has a job. My other son
Right.
has a job. You know,
Right.
I had to live Miss Clement, Latanya.
Right.
I had to
Right.
get back to her and getting to know her again because we can get wrapped up in our kids so much you forget how to be yourself, and everything you do and talk about is about them. Like
Yeah.
when I call my friends, we don't got to the phase now in our my kids, my friends that are close to me and like sisters to me, sisters to me. We don't
Mm-hmm.
got to the point where we come together, and my own sister and all brothers, we come together and we talk about other things. We're like, how the kids doing? They're good. They're doing wonderful X, Y, and Z. We don't keep the topic on the kids because they're young adults. Like some of my kids still have young kids. Of course, we're going to engage in that conversation. But if your kids are grown,
Mm-hmm.
grown, and they got their own lives to live, how the boys doing? How your son are doing? Good. Fine. Okay, now let's get back to me and you, because you can lose yourself in your child.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself, you know what? We're talking about because my son would say,
I guess Miss Clemens froze for a second, but we're gonna get her right back in. We're gonna get her right back in. Oh, she's
I'm
back
here,
in.
I'm here,
All right. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Mom, can you not talk do you know what, you're right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So my thing is getting to know you, getting to be you, and knowing you is the best thing, and keeping a conversation about you and your girlfriends. Now it's time to live, and we only
Mm-hmm.
thing us as parents want to do is make sure that our kids are happy,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they do, they're happy, they're healthy, they're okay, and they can take care of themselves.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Because the rest, after you don't raise them to the best of your ability, because we don't come with, I didn't get a handbook how to raise no kids.
Mm-hmm.
My parents didn't have a handbook. You just do the best that you know from what you've learned from your parents, and you keep going. moving forward. That's it. And after they get grown, only thing I need to know, how so and so doing. Good, good. Now let's
Right.
talk about you and this. What career moves you making, or what book you write, and what you doing. I like to surround myself with motivational women, and that's all I do. Hang around is motivational women. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
love. We talk about different things, and we keep each other lifted up always. And we
I
talking
like
about
that.
ourselves. Our kids are our kids forever and ever. Amen. But it's time for us to get back to us
Yeah.
and know who the women that some of my girlfriends are wives and some of them are single and doing their thing, business owners and doing both. So we
Mm-hmm.
keep each other encouraged with each other. And I would tell any mom that, you're going to get lost in your child. I'm going to tell you right now from the get go, when they go off to college, you're going to be so engrossed in them for the next 4 years. It ain't going to be funny.
Mm.
Ain't gonna be funny because you're gonna call every girlfriend that you know that got a kid in school. Y'all all gonna have a bond, and that's to be expected. I'm not.
Right.
That's just to be expected. And after everybody veer off after college, wherever path they may take, you start getting to know like, damn, I'm an empty nester. Now my kids are grown. Now I have to relearn Latanya again and what she
Right.
like and don't like, and this because life has a way of throwing you curveballs, and I had to learn how to go with it. Now, okay, I know what I like and don't like, and this and the other, and I'm enjoying life, and I'm having a good time, making sure my kids are okay. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
good? Everybody good? Okay, cool. They're like, Mom, you good? I'm good. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Well, I
it.
gotta ask this question because
Mm,
you raising a successful son, athlete, successful artist.
mm-hmm,
Um, Now let's get with Mr. Clement for a second. What advice would you give a parent whose child has been that four-star child, been one of the best players in Wisconsin, running back, freshman of the year, and everything, and then get to the NFL level and
mm-hmm,
don't get drafted?
mm.
What would you say to that parent? And what would you say to them to help their kids out? Because that's
It's
something that
devastating.
yeah,
It's devastating. It's devastating. Um, it's very devastating. We didn't expect that to happen along the way, but hiccups happen in life. You're going to be down for a minute, but it doesn't mean that you're out.
right,
Don't mean that you're out. Because you did not get selected, doesn't mean that you're going to be out. My son's a prime example. Prime example.
hmm
No, he did not get drafted. No, he did not. Maybe that wasn't God's plan. He had another plan for you. So I always said this when he was coming through, when he was growing up, you got to follow the path that God has. Because when you always go your way, it don't go that way. Even as an adult, it don't go that way. He didn't plan for you to get drafted. He planned for something else for you. He's
hmm
still planning for you. So you got what you wanted that you manifest without even being drafted.
mm,
Where did that come from?
mm.
You broke records as a rookie, undrafted, that was never heard of. Where did that come from?
Facts.
So sometimes it may not be in the cards to get drafted. It's okay. I was like devastated, but guess what? He never knew. He never knew because
hmm
I was encouraging. Was I hurt? Absolutely. Was
hmm
my his dad? Absolutely. My sister? Absolutely. My brother? Yeah. We like what the? But I said, okay. I turned around. He never knew.
hmm
After that didn't happen, guess what? The phones start ringing.
hmm
The phones rang the same day. After everything was over, the phones were ringing. Everybody that's like, wait a minute, how did he slip through the crack? I don't know. But guess what? We made the best of it. And I'll tell a parent anyway, yeah, you're going to go through it, but don't let your child see that you're going through it. Be encouraging to your child. If you're going to cry behind closed doors, but they don't see you. They don't
mm
see you. It may hurt. It may sting. It may sting. Yeah, it's gonna sting. It's gonna hurt. But guess what? It's not the end of the road. It's not the end of the road. And I had to learn that for myself. Like it stung. I'm like, what the? That's okay. Okay. You got calls. Okay. You got tryouts. Okay. And then when he made the team, I didn't even say nothing. I was getting called. I said, I'm gonna let him tell me that he got on this team. So I was doing my hair. He said, Mom, what you doing? I said, oh, nothing. He said, I got something to tell you. I said, but come on, tell me. And he told me he had this girl in his face, and I said, what happened? He said, nobody tell you? I said, ain't nobody tell me nothing. Boy, what happened? He started laughing. He said, oh, I got on the team. I said, oh, well, congratulations. Hard work does pay off, don't it? He was happy. I was happy. So you have to prepare yourself for the best and the worst.
hmm
Because even though you may get drafted in any sport that you play, don't mean that you're going to play.
mm
Okay? you may not play, because if you don't put yourself in position to get educated, that's where I come in at. To put yourself in position to get educated and how to maneuver to play, you're not going to play. If there are 14 running backs on, or 10 or 6, where do you think your child is going to play?
Mm,
Did you ask
yeah.
that question? Did you ask that question? Did you ask the question, or did you ask these things before he get, because he might get on there and get red shirt? Did you know about that? Did you ask the question? That's where I come in at. So certain things you're gonna have to know. And when it don't happen, yeah, you're gonna be heartbroken. But there's something else probably better in store. It doesn't mean that he's not gonna play or she's not gonna play. It may not be for that team or at that time, but they're not out. They're not out. They're
Right.
not out. They might be on the practice squad. They might be someplace else. But guess what? Whatever they have or they're doing, make the best of it. Make them feel worthy of it.
I
And
agree.
don't feel bad about it or shame about it. No, my son was not drafted. No, he was not. But we got a ring.
Talk it, talk that
I
right
got a
there.
ring. So if he did get drafted by another team, I don't think he probably would have had one. But
Mm,
we got a ring, and I'm an original Philly girl and the
yep.
only woman on the team that's originally from Philadelphia.
Mm,
So with that being
mm,
said, I'm good. So I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm
right.
not upset about anything because it wasn't in God's plan to happen that way.
That's
Some
fact.
things you got to turn over to God. If you believe in whatever, whomever you should believe in, you got to turn it over and let them drive the car. Like, you know what, God, I give it all to you. And before
Mm-hmm.
you know it, things just start coming out the woodwork. Because again, I revert back to, if you are that person that's a good hearted person, you work hard, your hard work is going to come through, it's going to shine, and nobody can block your blessings. Nobody can block your blessings. It's between you and God. And if what you say you believe, it should come
Mm-hmm.
true. I believe that.
Now,
So I just wish my son the best. Yes.
yeah, there it is. There it is. Well, listen, I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the show.
Oh,
But you have
sure.
to tell us, you have to tell our listeners and people that's going to be watching the replay, listen to the replay. Um,
Yes.
when the next time you're teaching a class? Like for real, when the next time you're teaching a class?
I teach tomorrow, but
Okay.
I have my publicist. I have my publicist can reach out to you. Um, with no problem. It's on my page. It's on my. She put it out there. I
Uh-huh.
thank her so much for putting me on to you in the show. I have talked on a couple of shows before, but she could set that up for you,
Uh-huh.
for me to come out to speak at different high schools, colleges, and whatnot. I've been invited, so that's what I do. And when
Okay.
I speak from the heart and I speak the truth. You're not getting no textbook from me. You're gonna get the absolute truth,
I
shoes
like
off and
that.
all, maybe, but it's gonna be real. You gonna get the real deal. Ain't no glitz and glamour. Is no script. I'm not
Right.
scripted at all. Everything that
Mm-hmm.
I speak the truth, and I speak from the heart, and I speak with passion.
Okay. Okay. Well, where can everybody find you at social media, websites? Let them know.
Well, I have Clement Enterprises LLC is my website, but on Facebook I'm Latanya Dunaway hyphen Clement. On TikTok I'm LC. On Instagram I'm L Clement 23. You can find me. I have multitude of social media pages. So go to my main page, which is Latanya Clement, Latanya Dunaway Clement, and you'll find me there with no problem. Believe me. And then everything else. And if you really want to know about me, all you gotta
Uh-huh.
do is Google me. That's what I tell
Talk,
them.
talk,
Google
hold
me.
on, talk that right there. Just Google me. That's my
Google
favorite
me.
line. Just Google.
Google me, baby. Google me. And the kids get a kick out of it. I said, you know what? Just Google me. They like,
Mm,
Miss Clement. Google me. So if you want to know more, I had an inspirational book that I had, Good Morning Kings and Queens. I'm working on my backdrop of another book. It's going to be strictly for the rookies that are going in NFL. That's going to be coming
mhm.
out real soon as well. So I like
Okay.
to write. I'm an author as well. So just look out for Miss Clement. She's there. She's that girl that's going to give you the real nitty gritty. She's not playing no games. Like I said, I am the one, like Fantasia, take your shoes off. Let's get that. Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go. And you can
Okay.
appreciate the realness, because that's what I'm bringing to you, the realness.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. We
Yes,
definitely
thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate
So you
you
got to
too.
stay in touch with us. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Anything that you got going on, especially in Philly. Like you got some stuff going on in Philly. Let us know so we can slide on through. You know what I mean? To support y'all and everything y'all do, because
I
giving back to the
appreciate.
community is one of the biggest
Yes,
things that we love to do.
that's what we have to
So
do. Thank
yeah,
you.
no
Thank you
problem.
so
No
much.
problem. Oh well, listen. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe.
I absolutely will do. Thank you for having me on the show. Tell
Oh,
everyone
no
in
problem.
Philly, Jersey, tri-state area. Thank you guys for dropping in, for listening. Have a pleasant night.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh
You're
man,
welcome.
good show, y'all. Beautiful show right there, right there. We had NFL mom, Super Bowl champ, Corey Clement mom here on the show, giving us sound device, educator, businesswoman, motivating speaker, a teach classes, sport advisors. I mean, she dropped some jewels on us that I think that parents will appreciate, especially when you talk about that separation anxiety. Like I ain't hear that word in a long time. But then it's true. It's true. So y'all make sure y'all follow on all social media platforms, which we do have on our social media. Y'all can check us out, OT Radio Show, all pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's what it is. OT Radio Show. Thank y'all for watching. And remember, we have 2 scholarships for any high school senior that's studying the medical field. Yes, studying the medical field, you gotta be a high school senior with a 2.5 GPA. Because guess what? Our scholarship is not just for a 4-year scholar. It's for a 2-year scholar. It's for a tech school scholar. Yes, we got it there. Deadline is December the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. And we will be announcing the winner February 2nd. Am I right about that? February 2nd. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and apply for it if y'all know any high school seniors. Yes, we're going to have it down below where you can see it in 543 right there. Right there. Make sure y'all go ahead, go to board.org, scholarship backslash at the Marine Tansmore, which I see scrolling across us right now. Make sure y'all go ahead and apply. You got a high school senior studying the medical field. We got 2 scholarships. Man, I remember last year we only had one. Now we got 2 because so much is a blessing. So make sure y'all check us out. Check out all our social media page. And once again, thank y'all for watching. Enjoy y'all weekend. Have yourself a good time. Like I always say, go birds. No matter what, go birds. But OT always say someone asks you how you doing, you tell them you're doing better than yesterday. Thank y'all for watching and keep on supporting the show because we love y'all. Thank you again. Follow us on all social media platforms. Peace.